Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about the proteins. As we all know, protein is the basic material for every living cell, and it is the most important of all known substances in the organic kingdom. This name, that is the protein, it was suggested by the scientist named Mulder in the 1838. The molecule which yields amino acids upon hydrolysis are called proteins. Or simply we can define protein as the large, complex organic compound made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. Proteins are natural polymer of amino acids. The number of amino acids in a protein molecule may range from 2 to several thousands. Protein molecule contains, as uh, we see in the definition of protein, that is, it is made up of the nitrogen, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. As it contains the nitrogen atom that distinguishes the protein from carbohydrates and fats. Proteins are basis for the major structural component of animal and human tissue. They act as a biological catalyst from structural parts of organisms, participate in different cell reactions, also act as a molecule of immunity and also provide fuel. Sources of protein. There are two main sources of protein, that is animal sources and plant sources. Here you can see various numbers of sources which are categorized under the plant sources of protein and animal sources of protein. So these are the sources from where we can get plenty of proteins. Next we will see the classification of protein. Protein are mainly classified according to their structure, biological function and composition. So, on the basis of structure, we can classify them in the following three types, that is, the simple protein, conjugated proteins, and derived proteins. Simple proteins are those which give one amino acid only upon hydrolysis. Conjugated proteins are those which give an amino acid and non-protein group upon hydrolysis. And derived proteins are those which are derived from simple and conjugated proteins. Simple proteins are needed to form blood cells in the bone marrow. So these are the sources of simple protein, that is the milk, egg white, lentils, wheat and kidney beans. The simple proteins which contains albumin, they are globular proteins and they are insoluble in water, means they cannot be dissolved in water, but they dilute in the salt solution. Precipitated by saturation with NH4 to SO4 solution and coagulated by heat. If you give heat to that albumins, they will start to coagulate and they mainly found in the plant and animal tissue. Next, simple proteins with the globulins. They are found in the uh, blood cells, then in the muscles, potato, Brazil nuts, hum and lentils. Globular proteins is springly soluble in water and neutral solutions. the simple proteins which contains globulin, they can be dissolved in the water, precipitated by dilute ammonium sulfate, also coagulated by heat, and distributed equally in the plant and animal tissues. Simple proteins which contains gluteins, they are found in the wheat and rice. They are insoluble in water but dilute in salt solution. They are also soluble in dilute acids and found in mainly grains and cereals. Then simple proteins with the histones. They are mainly observed in the thymus gland, pancreas and nucleoproteins. They are soluble in water, salt solution and dilute acids, but they are insoluble in ammonium hydroxide. They yield large amount of lysine and arginine combined with nucleic acid within cells. They are present in the cells in the nucleic acid. Then simple proteins which contains scleroproteins. They are present in the connective tissues and heart tissues. Then fibrous protein is insoluble in all solvent. The protein which is present in the fibers, muscle fibers, they are usually insoluble and they are resistant to digest. Second one is the conjugated proteins which contains nucleoproteins. They are found in the cytoplasm of cell, the nucleus of chromosome and ribosome, and viruses and bacteriophages. It contains nucleic acid, nitrogen and phosphorus. It is present in chromosome and in all living forms as a combination of protein with either DNA or RNA. Then conjugated proteins with the mucoprotein, which are present in the saliva in the form of mucin and in the egg white. Proteins combined with amino sugars, sugar acid and sulfatase. Then conjugated proteins which contains glycoprotein. They are found in bones, tendons and cartilage. They contain more than 4% hexosamine mucoproteins. If less than 4%, then they are called as glycoproteins. Then conjugated proteins containing phosphoprotein. They are present in the milk and egg yolk. Phosphoric acid joined in ester linkage to protein. Then third one is the derived proteins. Derived protein means they are produced by the action of acids, alkalis, heat and enzymes on the native proteins. Okay, so this we derive proteins which contain proteins. They are found in the edesin and myosin. It results from the short action of acids or enzymes and they are insoluble in water. Then derived proteins in that which contains proteases. They are intermediate product of protein digestion. They are soluble in water, not coagulated by heat, precipitated by saturated ammonium sulfate, result from a partial digestion of protein by pepsin or trypsin. Third one is the derived proteins which contains peptones. They are intermediate product of protein digestion, some properties as proteases except that they cannot be salted out. Smaller molecular weight than the proteases. Then derived protein containing peptides. They are intermediate product of the protein digestion. Two or more amino acids joined by a peptide linkage hydrolyzed to individual amino acids. Next we will see the structure of proteins. The structure of protein mainly depends upon the spatial arrangement of polypeptide chains. There are four possible arrangements or four structures of protein are primary structure, secondary structure, tertiary structured and quaternary structure. Here you can see the structure of protein. In the primary protein, it is a single chain. In the secondary, it is a folded chain. In the tertiary, it is in the packing. And in the quaternary, it is in the interaction form. Next, we will see the functions of protein. First one is the growth and maintenance function. Your body needs protein for growth and maintenance of tissues. For that function, our body needs the protein. Second one is to causing a biochemical reaction. Bodily functions that depend on the protein enzymes include digestion, energy production, blood clotting, and muscle contraction. For these reactions, our body needs protein. Third, acts as a messenger. Amino acid chains of various lengths from protein and peptide, which make up several of your body's hormones and transmit information between your cells, tissues, and organs. So here protein acts as a messenger where it will carry forward the messages, the signals to the next tissue, cell, or organ. Fourth one is provide structure. A class of protein known as fibrous protein provides various parts of your body with structure, strength, and elasticity. Fifth one, maintains proper pH. Proteins acts as a buffer system, helping your body to maintain proper pH values of the blood and other bodily fluids. Sixth one is balances fluid. Proteins in your blood maintain the fluid balance between your blood and the surrounding tissue. 7. Strength, immune health. Proteins forms antibodies to protect your body from foreign invaders such as disease-causing bacteria and viruses. 8. One is the transport and stores nutrients. Some proteins transport nutrients throughout your entire body while other stores them. Ninth function is to provide energy. Protein can serve as a valuable energy source but only in situation of fasting, exhausting exercise or inadequate calorie intake. Another function is protein provides amino acids for growth of fetus in pregnancy and for the production of milk during lactation. So the extra proteins are advisable during pregnancy and lactation. Caloric value of protein. A calorie is the unit used to measure the energy producing value of food. Technically, a calorie is defined as the amount of heat necessary to raise the temperature of 1 liter of water by the 1 degree Celsius. So here protein 1 gram of protein gives 4 kilocalories, that is the calorific value of the protein. Next is the recommended dietary allowance of protein, that is the dietary reference intake is 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight or 0.36 grams per pound. The amount to 56 gram per day for the average sedentary man, 46 gram per day for the average sedentary woman. Dietary allowances are mainly depends upon the age, sex, physiological factor, psychological, and other certain factors. According to Indian Council of Medical Research, they recommended that the protein requirement should be 1 gram of protein per kg of body weight per day for an Indian adult. An extra amount is to be provided for heavy workers and in case of pregnancy and lactation. Next, we will discuss the digestion of protein that starts from the mouth, where the salivary glands will produce salivary juice. Then it forward to the stomach, where it will mix with the gastric juice. After stomach, it will goes into the intestine, where it will mix with the intestinal juices and pancreatic juices and hepatic juices, and in the near the large intestine the absorption will occur. This is the digestion of proteins from mouth, then stomach, pancreas and intestine. In mouth, no enzymes will act upon the proteins. In stomach, pepsin and renin will act on the proteins. From pancreas, pancreatic juice will be secreted and into the small intestine at the duodenum. There will be presence of trypsin, chymotrypsin, elastase, carboxypeptidase A and carboxypeptidase B. And in the intestine there will be presence of aminopeptidase and dipeptidase. First we will see the digestion in mouth. No digestion of protein will occur in the mouth. No proteolytic enzymes are present in the saliva. So here the functions of saliva is to lubricate the food. This will help in making food soluble for the action of proteolytic enzyme. After mastication and chewing, the bolus of food enters into the stomach, where it is acted upon the gastric juice. Next is the digestion in stomach. Digestion of protein starts in stomach. When proteins enters the stomach, it stimulates the secretion of hormone called gastrin from the gastric mucosal cells. This gastrin in turn stimulates the release of gastric juice, which contains hydrochloric acid, pepsinogen and renin. The pH of gastric juice is 1.5 to 2.5, that is acidic. Then digestion of protein in the intestine by pancreatic enzymes. From pancreas, whichever juices are passed into the duodenum. As the acidic stomach content pass into duodenum, the low pH triggers the secretion of the hormones. They are secretin. They stimulate the pancreas to secrete bicarbonate. It neutralizes hydrochloric acid and raises the pH from 1.5 to 2.5 up to 7. Another hormone is the cholecystokinin. It stimulates the secretion of pancreas. The secretions are endopeptidase and exopeptidase. In the endopeptidase, trypsin, chymotrypsin and elastase. In the exopeptidase, carboxypeptidase and aminopeptidase. Digestion of protein in the intestine by the intestinal enzyme. The digestion products of hydrolysis by pepsin, trypsin, elastase, chymotrypsin and carboxypeptidase is completed by the intestinal peptidase, which is secreted by the mucosa of small intestine. Some of these peptidase are aminopeptidase and dipeptidase. Then intestinal digestion of proteins. Complete digestion of small peptides to the level of amino acid is brought about the enzymes present in the intestinal juice. The luminal surface of intestinal epithelial cells contain aminopeptides which release the N-terminal amino acids successively. After digestion in the intestine, absorption will start. So, we will discuss the absorption of amino acids. The absorption of amino acids occur mainly in the small intestine. It is an energy requiring process. These transport systems are carrier mediated systems. These are 5 different carriers for different amino acids. Moreover, glutathione also plays an important role in the absorption of amino acids, which will mainly occur in the small intestine. Next, we will see the general metabolism of amino acid. Metabolism is the reaction which brings about the catabolism and anabolism. Dietary proteins and body proteins are broken down to amino acid. This is called as catabolic reaction. Catabolic means the breakdown reaction where the dietary proteins or body proteins they will broken down into the amino acid. Then in amination reaction, the amino group of amino acid is removed to produce the carbon skeleton, that is the keto acid. The amino group is excreted as the urea. The carbon skeleton is used for the synthesis of non-essential amino acids. It is also used for gluconeogenesis or for complete oxidation. Amino acids are used for synthesis of body proteins. This is called as the anabolic reaction. First, the catabolism will occur where the proteins will broken down into the amino acids, and with the help of these amino acids we will the body will have gluconeogenesis process and there will be complete oxidation. So that is the anabolic reaction, that is the building up reaction. Proteins will stored in every part of the body except in the adipose tissues. Next we will discuss the deficiency and excess of protein. Protein deficiency symptoms are always observed when either protein or energy is deficient. Extreme food energy deficiency is called as the marasmus and the protein deficiency is called as the kwashiorkor. They are combinedly called as the protein energy malnutrition. It is the world's most widespread malnutrition problem. It includes both marasmus and kwashiorkor and states of overlap sometimes. Then hunger, it is a physiological craving for food. Overconsumption of protein can lead to heart disease, homocysteine, kidney disease, adult bone loss, and cancer. Here is one assignment for you of this chapter, that is, prepare the chart that includes rich source of protein in the veg, non-veg both. Then write 5 major functions of protein in our body. Classify protein on the basis of structure, composition and biological function. Write daily requirement of protein for average age of male and female. So here we have discussed about the proteins. Introduction, that is the proteins is the molecule which is made up of nitrogen, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Then sources of protein. Protein can be uh, we can get from the animal sources and plant sources. Then classification of protein, in that simple proteins, those which give one amino acid only upon the hydrolysis, then conjugated which gives amino acid and non-protein group upon the hydrolysis, and derived proteins, these are derived from the simple and conjugated proteins. Then structure of protein, that is the primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary. Next, functions of protein, that is growth and maintenance, chemical reactions as a messenger, provide structure, maintenance of pH, balances fluids, strengthen the immune health, transport and store nutrients, provide energy. Then the caloric value of protein, that is the 1 gram of protein gives 4 kilocalories. Recommended dietary allowances, that is the 0.8 gram to 1 gram per kg uh, per kg body weight per day. Then the digestion of protein, which is not occur in the mouth, which starts from the stomach with the help of pepsin and renin. Then from pancreas some juices are added to this, and in the intestine the further digestion occurs and mainly absorption taken place in the intestine. After digestion, absorption of amino acids which mainly occur in the small intestine. Then metabolism, that is a catabolic reaction and anabolic reaction. First the proteins will be broken down into amino acids, and with the help of amino acids the body will have gluconeogenesis, that is the formation of glucose for giving energy to the cells. Then deficiency or excess of protein. In the deficiency, mainly protein malnutrition, which is also called as the kwashiorkor, and excess of protein, in that the protein will be excessively stored in the body, which will lead to the obesity, and where the risk of certain diseases will be there, like heart disease, kidney disease, cancer, etc. Thank you.